Hey all, here at OS Reviews, you're watching our hands-on review of the Meko 2nd generation disc stylus. This is like a passive stylus that will work with the majority of tablets and smartphones on the market, including the iPad and the iPhone, although it doesn't have built-in pressure sensitivity like Wacom-enabled pens and their graphic art tablets. As such, it's a lot more affordable. You can find this in a set of two. It comes in a pink as well as a black, or you can get both of them in one color for only $15, which only makes each stylus about $7 if you do the math, so it's quite affordable. It's a 2nd generation version. What they've upgraded is there's actually two tips on each stylus. It has a unique design that has a disc, which is this acrylic plate and gives you more precision over what part of the screen you're drawing on. It has a very fine point. And the other tip is a traditional kind of rubber aluminum mesh. And inside here we have a thank you card. There's also a microfiber cleaning cloth. There's also a quick instruction manual that tells you how to switch to different stylus points because it's hidden inside this one arm. And you can see the version I have here has two in the packaging. We have a pink as well as a black stylus. And there's also spare tips as well. So in case one of them breaks or wears off, you can also replace it pretty easily. And that includes two replacement soft round tips as well as four of these disc tips, which is again used for that precision. It only draws in the center point of that disc. Alright, so taking a look at the design of the stylus, entire body is made out of aluminum, which gives it a good heft. It's about the same size really as any standard ballpoint pen. It has a nice grip, so it's very ergonomic and easy to hold. Overall, it has a good overall weight, and there's also a clip that you can use to put it onto a shirt. So it has a very strange design on the bottom, and basically what you do is you can twist off this end cap to reveal the kind of more traditional mesh or soft base tip. And then when you're in this mode, you can use the cap and screw it onto the back so that you don't lose it, and hold it like this to cover larger areas, and it will also not really damage the screen of your device. It's very soft, and because it's using this mesh as opposed to a rubber, it does have better sensitivity as well, so you don't have to press quite as hard to have a stroke register on the display. And on the center here, what's interesting is I can twist off the place near the grip, and that reveals the disc part of the stylus. From here you can see the disc stylus can still move. It has some flexibility and malleability as far as where you're trying to draw at an angle, but it only reacts to this one point, this very one fine point. So doing a quick demonstration next, we have Wacom's Bamboo Paper app, and you can see that I have a notebook open which actually has very small grids running across it, kind of like a math sketch pad. And from here I'm able to, again, very carefully draw out specific shapes that might even match like the grid lines. So if I want to get it at a very specific point, all I have to do is start drawing at that point, and you can see it's actually very sensitive and reacts well to the display. It doesn't have any parallax issues. It seems like drawing straight on to the screen, you can get, again, a very straight line if you want to. There's no shakiness even if you zoom all the way in. So it actually is surprisingly responsive and capable, considering it's a passive stylus and not something more expensive, again, like a Wacom-enabled active stylus. Again, it's very precise. Anywhere that you want to start drawing, it more or less will get that point correct. So you're able to start off where your last strokes stopped and kind of connect these lines in a way which is much more responsive than on a traditional rubber-based stylus. Gives you, again, much more fine control over these things. On this particular app, I can also long hold for a few seconds to bring up different colors that I may want to use. And even though it doesn't have pressure sensitivity, what's interesting here is I do have the ability to kind of change the thickness of the stroke depending on how fast I'm drawing. So there are software workarounds to having a mechanical pressure sensitivity built into the pen. So for instance, if I'm drawing really quickly, that might be a light stroke, but if I draw very slowly, that's going to be a firmer, a thicker stroke. So I can still play around with these things and get very realistic looking handwriting and notes through a lot of third-party apps that are now available for Android and for iOS. So it still is, again, pretty capable for tasks like this. You can see I can connect these lines very well because it is quite precise. And, you know, if I am trying to doodle in and cover a bigger surface area, I may want to use that mesh tip, which, as you can see here, in many ways works also very well, especially have a thicker brush enabled, and this will allow you to cover, again, a less precise but bigger area of the screen. So overall, again, I was actually very surprised by how fluid and responsive both of these tips really are compared to other passive styluses I've seen in the past. It seems like you have to apply very little pressure and everything will work. It also, again, follows the point of the pen really well. As you are drawing along, it basically stays right where the tip or the center of the pen is. With that being said, it's still not going to give you quite as many features as a true Wacom pressure-enabled pen, which has hovering, it has palm rejection. On this, if you put your palm on the screen, it's still going to get confused, of course, because it's just acting as another point of input, just like your finger. Furthermore, a Wacom pen will still be a bit more responsive and give you that pressure sensitivity, which is definitely worth it for graphic artists and people more invested in professional-looking artwork. But for quick sketches, for signatures, for quick notes, this actually does a pretty good job, I would say. So thanks for watching this hands-on review here at OS Reviews. This was the Meco 2nd Generation Disc Precision Stylus.